Greetings, YouTube model train people. I have got another passenger car upgrade video. My last video was pretty popular, so I thought I'd do another one. If you haven't checked out the first video, I will put a link up above because you probably want to watch that one first. I'll be expanding on it somewhat. So I've got a couple things to show you here today. I've got two new interiors. This one is for a coach or a chair car, and this one is for a diner car. Both of these are available on Thingiverse if you'd like to print them off for yourself. They are available in a multicolor version like these, or there's a single color. If you don't have that option, you can print it in just one color and paint these yourself. It's probably faster that way anyway. But I kept it pretty simplistic since you can't really see much detail through the windows anyway. I figured going to town on detail is kind of a waste of effort. So here they are. And I also have some circuit boards here to show. This is pretty much the same circuit board I showed in the last video. However, electrically it's exactly the same. I did add some additional silk screening. This you can pick up off from OSH Park if you'd like. And then this one is the latest one I've been working on. It's a little shorter. It's designed to fit in an RPO car, which is a little shorter. So yeah, that's the idea for this one. Here's what they look like populated. So I will go through, let's zoom in here. I've had some questions about this board. I tried to make it as self-explanatory as I could, but I mean, it's easy for me to say that since I designed it. I also this is a significant amount of what I do for my job, so it comes naturally to me, and I realize that for not everyone is the case. So I will go ahead and kind of show you how to go through and populate out the board, starting at this end down here with diodes. So I think pretty much any diode will work. Okay, so the diodes I'm using are 1N4001, very standard. You could pick these up anywhere. And if you look closely here, there's 4 of them. They're marked D1 through 4. And if you see there's an extra little line here at this end, that's got to line up with the line on the diode. Okay, so here's what it should look like with the 4 diodes filled in. Now, next to these, there are 2 holes here and here. That's for the track. There wasn't room enough to put, I wrote on the back here, track. So that's like the A and B sides of the track. These same exact connections you can do here, or you can do down at the other end of the board, right here where it says track A and B. So you need at least one from the A side of the track and at least one from the B side of the track. The next going over to the right is this where I have a ground and a plus. This is if you wanted to hook something else up there. This is DC power. That's optional. Then we've got the beginning of here's the first LED. There are 9 total LEDs. You can decide which ones of them that you want to use. If you want to put them in specific spots, there's, all along here, there are spots. So for each LED, you want to put an LED there, and then you want to put the current limiting resistor right next to it. The LED goes, unfortunately, this is a little hard to see. There's a flat side. Yeah, like I said, it's difficult to see. This towards where it says LED is the flat of the LED, that's the cathode. This is the anode. And it's also, this is square, is the anode. So this is the longer lead of the LED, and this is the shorter one. That's, yeah, anode, cathode, and then the resistor, it doesn't matter which way they go. Then next up here is one of the capacitor spots. They're all marked with a C, and the capacitor needs to be put in with, these are the ones that are marked with a minus. That's the minus side, and this is the plus side. You can put the capacitors anywhere you want. You can use as many as you see fit. I've been using one. Okay, for the LEDs, I am using these. Pretty sure I picked these up off eBay. And then for a current limiting resistor, I have a 3000 ohm resistor. And sometimes it's a little difficult to tell, but there's a flat side right here. If my finger wasn't in the way. There's a yeah, this side of the LED has a little flat on it. That's always with the shorter lead. That's the cathode or the negative. This longer lead is the anode. So on this particular board, the anode goes close to the resistor. So like that. We will need a current limiting resistor right next to it here. And then just repeat as many times as you need. I am going, so 1000 microfarad capacitors, that's up to you. That's probably a little excessive. Maybe 5,000 would be, or 500, I'm sorry, would be good enough. But you do want to make sure they're at least rated for 16 volts. So, and I'm going to put that in down here at the very end, so it's kind of out of the way. The other thing I'm going to do, and then once again, this side here is marked with a huge minus. This is marked with a minus here. And I'm not going to mount it flat like that because it'll stick out. I'm going to kind of like bend it over like that. So it's kind of tucked up so you don't see it. Okay, so that's the general rundown on the board. I will go ahead and fill in a couple more LEDs here. It's exactly the same as the one I did here. Okay, here we are with the board fully populated. Let's see if I can zoom in some on that. Okay, so down at this end, I have got one wire that's going to go to the track pickup, one capacitor, LED resistor, LED resistor, LED resistor, LED resistor, and then the 4 bridge rectifier diodes and the other side of the track power here. Okay, so the next part we need to do is connect from the board to the trucks. Now to do that, you've got to put a wire under the screw, which goes all the way through to hold the truck on. Now the way I had done this in the past, and the way I did it in my last video, is I just took this wire and kind of wrapped it around there. But I don't really like that solution because, you know, this turns back and forth when the car goes around corners, and then eventually that wire is going to work its way out from underneath here. So what I did is I found these are like the smallest ring terminals that I could find. They're number 4, and I don't know, this still isn't a great deal, because if you look at this, and so if you were to just put this underneath here like that, first of all, the crimp part here is going to touch and short out on this metal weight. It's also going to stick up quite a bit and hold up the, these already have a small channel here underneath, but it's going to be too much. It's going to push this and make this setup even higher than it already does. So basically what I did is I took and I cut off the... I basically cut off the crimp part here and then just soldered this onto the ring terminal. I don't know. If anybody has a better solution, please put a comment down below. Because this is the best I can come up with, and I'm still not super loving it. So that means the screw's got to come out of here. All right, so just in case, I'm gonna put a little bit of tape under here. Man, that's coming really close to shorting out. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, now onto the bottom side. So I've got a couple of wheels here. These are insulated on one side. It's real hard to see that probably on camera. And I want to put them in the same way. And so what I do for this little tiny wire to go between there, I just take a piece of stranded wire about that long, and I cut off the insulation. And then as you can see, there's multiple strands here. Then I just take one of these strands. Oh, that might not be long enough. Yeah, that's a little too short. Well, we'll see if that'll do. And then wrap it around the axle. And then around the screw. And then around the other axle. As such. Okay, so that's what it takes. One side and the other. And the main thing you want to make sure is you get these two are insulated on this side, these two are insulated on this side. That way you get both sides of the track. Okay, so after taking it and putting on the track and making sure it works before I put it all back together, which it did, then I'm going to go ahead and get this. Set down in here. Oh wait, sorry. This is supposed to be the diner car. Okay, and then I'll use a piece of double-sided foam tape in order to attach that to the roof. Okay, there we go. Go try it now. And here it is, all lit up. No flickering whatsoever.